Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules the Man Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and we come back here and talk about it. And today is the second time we're going to be talking about Sarazanmai, an anime suggested by one of you from the anime chest here. We have a ton of anime left to go. We just got added Frieren on there. I'm super excited about that. We have a ton of anime there. Yes, we have a ton of anime there that are suggested by either me or Matt, but also you, the viewers, and you can get your anime suggestion into the chest to possibly be picked out next week by dropping a $5 super chat on YouTube, or you can do a 500 bits on Twitch. Wherever you're watching live, you can submit an anime if you have a question, anything like that, let us know. But I don't go on these anime journeys alone. I go with my co-host Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. This anime has taken turns down paths I didn't expect. And
Yeah.
I asked for my tear ducts to be left alone for this viewing. Can't say that has happened, but I'm probably all better for it, honestly. I keep complaining about it, but the best types of art make you cry, make you happy, they make you feel a range of emotions, and I'm feeling a range of emotions.
Sure. I do have maybe like one complaint, maybe in the last episode about something that I'll bring up then. But holy, I thought as well, this setup for the first 4 episodes, this setup as a chill, super fun time, silly goofiness. And I was like, okay, cool. We are getting a reprieve from what we've been watching lately. But it has gone down a different path, and now we're having some feelings, and now these characters have a little bit more depth, and I'm like, oh brother, can y'all just keep dancing? Can y'all just keep doing the little dance thing? Because that's all I want. Just keep doing the dance and stuff. But they have to throw in all these other things and mix up the plot, which is good.
Yeah,
Because I think
it's nice that it's being nuanced. I like that every time I kind of have an idea of like what's going on, it kind of keeps me on my toes by like throwing in these little side plot threads that continue to get more complex, or character motivations that continue to develop.
Even like little words here or there, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what's that about? And then they sort of explain a little bit about something later on, and it goes a little deeper, and we're like, oh, that's what they're meaning. But definitely a lot different than the last 4 episodes, or the first 4 episodes that we watched. But hello to everybody watching on YouTube, Kaylin and Kaylee. Hello. Hi, I'm here, and if you are mean to the only anime I recommended for this podcast, I will cry. And Claire on Twitch says, it sounds like I should lurk and watch this later once I've seen these episodes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Did you watch the first 4?
Like the first 4, yeah. If you think the first 4 are good, I would definitely say that these next 4 do a good job at like, I was scared that like we would come back today and I would have no fresh kind of like insights into the show, because we kind of got the formula that it was going to follow, but then like immediately in episode 5 here, it breaks the formula, and I was like, whoa, like wasn't expecting that, but yeah, I think I'm better for it.
Kaylee says on YouTube, JK, honestly, your reactions last episode were more positive than I expected. It's really fun and really silly, and it didn't have to explain. Like, I'm fine with them not explaining what's going on. They're them bringing me into a world, and they're like, this is how it goes. These people are, only the main characters are real actualized humans, and all of them are gray. And I'm like, okay, cool. As long as it has consistency somewhat, I'm like, I'll go along for the ride. Here I am. They do the song and dance. They take down the baddie. They go in their butt, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it again. And then episode 5 is like, we're not doing that anymore. we're changing stuff. But yeah, I really like it, especially for this guy too. He is great. And I think if you don't have any objections, I think the cat has to go
in the classroom.
Yeah, in the classroom here. I think the cat is the next one to go into the classroom. Or we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's either the cat or like one of I meant to get the Kepi in the pole dance. I meant to be.
Oh yeah. I thought about putting that
nowhere.
as I thought about putting that as a thumbnail. And I was like, I will cheer as I watch Jules make faces on mute. Blech. There you go. There's one. Let's get into the anime. Episode 5. I want to connect, but I can't be forgiven. What happened in episode 5?
We see Kazuki's grandfather telling him something that has him no longer believing the family he has been living with is his biological family. Toy helps Kazuki with his plan in taking over Sada's meet and greet so that he can say a secret message to Haruka. Kuji is unable to keep Sada in one place, and eventually they make their way back to the meet and greet with Kazuki being revealed his secret to Haruka and his family. Sachets become the target of the Kappa zombies, and Kazuki is unable to complete the Sarazanmai as his memory leak reveals that Haruka was in possession of a sachet belonging to his real mother. Kazuki reveals to the others the guilt that he holds for his part in Haruka's accident that would have him being in a wheelchair.
Oh,
All the
brother.
twists and turns in this episode, man.
It's a lot. We learn a lot about Kazuki, about Haruka's sort of connection. We get a flashback from their grandpa saying Kazu's mother was a sloppy woman, which is a wild thing to say on your deathbed.
Yeah.
For one, that's insane. And then we get this whole illusion that was not there before. Like, I guess there was something on Kazu's shoulders that we didn't know about.
Sure.
And it was still kind of a question, like, why would he? It's not making enough sense. Why would he put Haruka's happiness and want to form this connection and then he say he hates him and like doing all this stuff and like, yeah, maybe dressing up as as Sarah, which is this cross-dressing, this whole thing, and then stealing a cat and all this stuff. Like, I guess maybe that's like kid adolescence. And I was like, okay, it's still kind of a stretch. But then they get this whole thing where it's like Kazu's not really connected to the family, where he's like adopted, and it's like, huh? And I did not get alluded to at all.
Yeah, it's just like it's either that he's adopted or he like his father like had him out of marriage and then he went on to get married to somebody else, and his mom's just somebody that's fast, and like doesn't really stay in one place or something. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is that saying that like your mother was a sloppy person is just so vague. But I think it leaves it open-ended enough to where we can like, just
and it also doesn't really matter.
Exactly, the plausible deniability that it doesn't, the details don't really matter in this situation. It's more just about the implication that, oh, like I'm living with people that, or I'm living with somebody that's not my real parents. Like Haruka, I saw him come home from the hospital, and if this isn't my mom, that's not my real brother. So it's just, it's all these implications, and it makes you wonder, like when he's saying that like he hates Haruka, by the end of this episode, it makes you wonder, when he's saying he hates Haruka, like does he hate the thought of Haruka? Like, is it because like he wants to be in a family where like he's biologically connected, or is it because like there's the underlying guilt that he has been feeling, he has been like compacting, and it comes out as a hate for Haruka? Like it's very open-ended as to, I feel like it's not just directly stated. He doesn't come out and just say I hate Haruka because X, It's like you have to kind of look at everything that is going on and come to your own conclusions, like why he would feel that way.
For sure. Hello Cosmo over on Twitch. Is that the Poppy Jules and Zaddy Galley educating the children on animes? We are trying. We're talking about Sarazanmai, episode 5 through 8. The plan, I totally forgot about this plan that was happening. The plan is underway, and I was like, oh shit, they're still doing it.
I thought it was called off too. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
So they're gonna capture Sarah away. Kuji takes out the manager, but then something's weird that they don't explain either in this. Yet, at least
they don't really even have any words on it. It just happens.
Sarah keeps escaping with the little white ball, And I think we know later that it is Kepi, right? We kind
Yeah,
of get the
or she can transform into a Kepi, like one or the other.
because we see
Because it
okay,
looked
we
like it might have
see
been a different, like up to this point, like we've seen Kepi, the one that helps the kids out, but then Sada on her like show, it always looks like there's another Kepi there that's like
yeah, it looks like a
more,
doll or
yeah,
something.
it looks more, and it looks a little bit more effeminate than Kepi helping the other guys out
Mhm.
does. So it's another one of those things where it's like, hey, figure it out. I
They
guess.
yeah, they still haven't, as of episode 8, they haven't really explained it. But she keeps escaping. She maybe turns into a Kepi alike that looks like them, but very effeminate, and escapes all the traps and doesn't really hurt Kuji at all. Just kind of like, hee hee, I'm gone, I'm leaving. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I don't know if she is the small white ball that keeps escaping. I don't know if she's using that to escape, whatever. Kazu flashbacks. Let's see. Oh, Kazu flashbacks about the secret phrase that was said about them being connected as in a big circle
Mhm.
and having that connection, and Haruka saying that would be their secret code for him to know that the Sara that he is talking to is the real one. And he
Mhm.
does like sort of fastbacks, like, oh my god, what
And
is
in that
this?
flashback, it makes a point to show Haruka getting up off the ledge and standing up. Like that's a whole moment where I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, so like that's the thing. Like that's what we that can't happen anymore. So what's happened? But since then, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
There are two Sarachans that are there. Kazu gets de-wigged in front of everyone, literally wig off. Oh my god, I did not
it
expect that to
was
happen,
my jaw dropped.
and I was like, oh no, in front of his parents
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and Enta's there, and his brother's there.
I felt it in my gut for sure.
Oh, that was such
That's
a
the
wild moment.
sinking feeling.
Yes, literally wig snatched. It happened. I don't know. It was just there and then it was gone from the crazy manager. Who is she? I don't know.
Because
Nobody knows.
for a moment, I'm thinking, "Oh, Enta's got this. He's going to convince everybody that this guy's like some crazy dude in here with his pants off." But then the actual Sada shows up, and I'm just like,
Who? Wig. Wig snatched.
"Wig on, F it, wig off."
Sachets go flying, or sachets go flying. They're little
Shay?
sachets. They go flying. They're like a little bag of scent that smells certainly. Um, I put do the dance to take out the sachet zombie. Didn't beat the sachet zombie.
And it's
Uh,
because Kazuki got tripped up getting the memory leak that it was his mom's sachet that Haruka was holding, and
you
he's
would
like,
think, yeah.
what the F? And then he drops the Sarazanmai, or not the Sarazanmai, he drops the Shiriko Dama, and it goes
Mm-hmm.
back to the zombie.
Cosmo, you would think it's sachels, but it's sachet, the way they kept saying, or sachet.
Sachet.
Yeah.
Sachet.
So I thought it would be. They look kind of like satchels, like little small satchels, sachets. I don't know. I keep hearing sachet like driveway. Okay, that's a good way to remember it then. Sachet. Okay, that can get into my brain. Sachet away. Um, he's been looking for the scent of somebody special. He's like, "What is that?" And it's the smell of his real mom, possibly. Kazuki met his real mom, which is wild. This whole thing that gets leaked out. They didn't defeat the sachet monster, so
Nope.
they have to stay in kappa form,
They dropped the
which
Shiriko Dama.
they dropped the Kodama. During this sort of leak here, we find out that his real mom has his did it say that he has a family or his real mom has a family still?
That she has her own family too, I think it reveals,
Yeah.
but I think that's in the next episode. I can't
Okay.
remember specifically.
And the reunion.
But like in the next episode, he ends up telling her, I have a family and they mean a lot to me, or whatever.
Mm,
Yeah.
the reunion is kept a secret, and it's kind of this whole. I mean, it's all playing out inside Kazu, right? The idea of his birth family, birth mother, and then the found family. Like I even like, in my family situation, it's kind of like a thing as well, because it's like I have a family and I have a mom that is the birth mother, but then I also have this stepmother who is like, raised me sort of as well. And it's like, how does that fit? How does that work? So it was kind of touching like on some things in my real life too, where I was
Yeah.
like, I get where as a kid you would kind of think this way or have some sort of confusion, like these are the people that are raising me right now, but that's my real mom. But like, who are these people even? And him kind of going back and forth, like how close can I even be to these people when I'm not quote unquote connected, like Haruka is connected to the parents. And it's really cool. I mean, it's not cool, but like it's really cool that this
It's
anime was touching this.
exactly. I was going to say it shows the depth and the nuance of the like again in the first episode the show straight up tells us that oh it's going to be about connections, and we see two siblings and we think it's going to be just what could there be between two siblings, and then it's like, oh, this is real. This is the type of depth that real connections can have. They're not always just so black and white, so night and day. There's a complicated ocean of emotion that resides in each of us, and no other person can really fathom like what another person is truly feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I think, because like is his again, like everybody's so ready to immediately tell Kazuki, that wasn't your fault exclusively. And he's like, well, no, but if it wasn't for me, it would not have happened. And like, I don't think you all understand the gravity of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's just everybody's right. Everybody's right. Because there's no real right or wrong.
Yeah, because that's how the person feels. And his feelings are valid, I guess, but they are in extreme because he's a young kid, where it's like,
Sure.
I need to get out of this. If I didn't exist, and we're going to talk about it later, probably I think in the next episode. It's like, if I didn't exist, then Haruka wouldn't have done this. So what we're kind of alluding to, what happens with Haruka's there, sees this meeting happen, and then Haruka walks in front of a car from chasing after Kazu, and that's how Haruka gets disabled somehow. And it's like, oh, it's so I don't know. I didn't think we would go here. I just want
Yeah, I didn't
silly
think we were
butts,
go here. The
frog
way the
butts.
show sets it up, it almost makes you think that like they just have some sort of long lasting like condition that might, because like he's
Sure.
at the hospital one day just being being pushed around in a wheelchair, and the show kind of doesn't really say anything about it, so you think like, oh, he might be there for like treatment on whatever condition or disease that he has that's giving this to him, but then it's like, oh, he was in an accident, and like
Probably
again, like
paralyzed or something.
Kazuki didn't push him into traffic, but he didn't need to like storm away from his little brother like he did. So yeah, I mean, his little brother didn't need to run out into traffic, but
Yeah.
he was emotionally distraught over the thought of his older brother leaving and going somewhere far away and never coming back again.
Or he was distraught about the one that Kazuki cares about leaving, and Haruka thought that he was the reason the mother was leaving and never coming back again. And he was like,
Yes.
no,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it was all miscommunicated, and it
Yeah.
happened just very quickly, and emotions happened. He quit soccer and did all those other things to protect himself. And the closing scene, we have the police officers having a fight, kind of. They're kind of talking after the credits, and it comes into play later.
Yeah, it's Reo and Mabu, and Mabu, like they finally, because the zombie doesn't get Sarazanmai, they're like, oh look, we finally got one, so looks like we can take a break, like, or like kind of like go out and do our own work, so to speak. And Mabu says, I forget what exactly he says, but he says something like, you should never act out of pure emotion or something like that. And Reo gets like upset, and he's like, you would never understand.
Yeah. And then it unfolds later.
Yeah.
about all that stuff.
Yeah. Which the fact that like, yeah, we get more and more out of those two as time moves forward is another thing where it's just like I see all these threads developing and I find myself way more intrigued than I thought I was going to be at this point in the show. I thought it was going to be, again, just treading the same water, doing the same things, but we get this episode 5 that completely throws us off the track, off the railroad, so to speak. And then I'm just like, oh, so now what could happen? Now what could happen?
Yeah, I wouldn't have watched past episode 3 or 4 on my own, but then here at episode 5, I'm like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? So it's like pretty cool that we can dive into this stuff, and we're kind of forced to continue watching, and then it comes out to be really good. Episode 6, I want to connect, so I'm not giving up. What happens in episode 6 of Sarazanmai?
Kazuki, Enta, and Toy all remain.
You did get a pole dance one.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Kazuki, Enta, and Toy all remain as Kappa, having not acquiring the Shiriko Dama of the last zombie. Kazuki grows more distant as they discover that Haruka has been abducted by the Imperial Army. Kepi going on to give the three a history lesson of the war between the Kappa and the Otters before bringing them into the HQ of the Otters in order to save Haruka. Kazuki is ready to give away his Shiriko Dama so Kepi can revive Haruka, but Enta and Toy help him overcome the obstacles so that they can get Haruka back and then go on to take out the Sachet zombie.
I have questions. Why the poll? You know, Cosmo, if you don't see any other animes that we watch, I think this is the one for you. And this is all I got to show you. I think if you're not going to watch any of the, you know, if you haven't seen any of the anime that we watch, I think this one is probably the one for you for sure. Why not the poll? Actually, very true. Very true.
Pole dance.
During the big fight sequence, they have to go into the monster's butt to pull out the Sarazanmai. Yeah. There you go. I think it's right up your
frogs.
Right up your butt.
It's got butts. It's
got a lot of butts.
Frogs in butts. All of the above.
So this is the one for you. Sachets come up again as the selfie pic for Sarah, which was immediately was like, hold on, this is the first time this happened. What's going on? Butt stuff, polls, I'm scared and need an adult. No. It's great. It's great. It's fantastic. It's like Power Rangers, but more butts. So my first initial thought was that Sarah was connected to the zombies somehow. Still, that little thing was in my head at episode 6 where I was like, what's this? Why is she connected? Why is this thing happening? They were sumo wrestling. So I thought this was going to be fun. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, they started off so silly.
It starts off super silly. They started sumo wrestling the golden duo. It was very erotic a little bit.
A lot of erotic tension.
Because Enta
was even like, am I still fantasizing? And Kepi was like, here you go, snap yourself. Like, no, this is real.
Yeah, because Enta is in love with Kazu, and just boys in love, the golden duo there. More frog butts. I put frog butts in there. Police officer was talking to Haruka. I forgot if it was Rio or Mabu, but
Rio is the sharp-toothed one.
Okay, so they abduct Haruka, and I was the most sad about Nyantaro. Bro,
he got tossed.
He got yeeted. The cat, this little guy, where is he? This little guy got yeeted off the corner.
And he's only like on screen for like 5 frames getting tossed away.
I was like, oh, he just, boom, just immediately gone. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. Nyantaro. I put no Nyantaro. Very big chunk of kitty. Love Nyantaro. The police officer steals Haruka for the Imperial Army, which is the first name drop of what actually their name is. They are the enemy that destroyed the Kappa Kingdom. The race to save Haruka happens. We also know that it is considered not only the Imperial Army, but the Otter Empire, which is, again, they add a lot of otters into it. We're going to see some more later on. We know that keeping is the only one that can create dishes, so he thinks that they're after him. If the Otter Empire gets a hold of keeping,
He's like the
then
last of the Kappa kingdom.
mhm.
It's the last
and
remnant or
and
something.
if they get their hands on the dishes, they can create wishes. They can do whatever they want. So that's what we're trying to prevent. They go to Otter Empire's secret hideout. Haruka, I thought, was about to get incinerated. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my God.
I was like,
What?
we're doing it. All right. I mean, it only goes to episode 11, but I thought
Yeah.
I thought we'd make it a little further, but I was ready. He
I was
was
like, oh, he's done. I was
his
like, well,
commitments.
he just went down and then, yeah.
But even it's Toy pulls out a strap and just starts blasting. So anyways, I
Mhm.
started blasting
Anyways,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, oh, that saves him. Okay. That's what we're doing.
Why not?
Just
Okay.
shoot the magic machine that Kepe just created, fabricated.
Yeah, I was like, what? It's a lot of, yeah, I'm okay with it because he
It's a lot
is.
of plot convenience, but I'm like, sure. He rolls a nat 20 on the gun. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Let me just, yeah, okay, cool. The idea is to implant Kazu's Shirokodama into Haruka, and let's see. We learn about what actually is happening to the people that get shot by the police officers, and why whenever there's zombies, they die and get deleted out of existence pretty much. They get kicked out of the circle of the world and forgotten forever. So it's worse than dying, like they say in the anime, that once they defeat them in zombie form, or if they get turned into a zombie and then you have to defeat them, they just don't exist, and
Yeah.
they never
Just
existed.
cease to have existed.
And
A fate worse than
Kazu,
death, some would say.
yeah, happens to the best of us. Yep, for sure. Um Kazu, so like I have more of a problem with it with Enta towards the end, but like I don't know if it's just me being old man, anime enjoyer. I want more. I have to give them grace because they are kids, but then they make really dumb decisions because they are kids or they think a certain way, and I'm just like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
If
You
we
know what I
had
mean?
if we had characters that always made perfect choices or decisions, it would not be entertaining to
Shut up,
watch.
Matt. Shut
I
up,
mean,
Matt. No, that's too much logic. Not the boomer opinion. Well, if everybody was just like me, they would not get into these situations. And
but I feel like, I feel like you were definitely on the opposite end of things with where we were at with Erased. And I don't know if that was because we had like kind of a protagonist that was a kid but had that wisdom of already being grown, like going through adolescence and adulthood
yes,
once and then transferring back, and that probably made the decision making of that show feel a lot more sound as things were happening. But now we're back to kids who are in 8th grade and have only experienced life up to that.
hmm
And it's yeah, like,
I mean, it
and
makes sense. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. It's just that like him being like, let me just erase myself and give my, Shiroko Dama to Haruka so that it would never have happened. It would have erased his
mhm.
whole thing that happened where he, gets hit by the car and all this stuff. And like, that's fine. Like, I get that he wants that, and that's a good trait. But it's just like, I still feel that kid energy where I'm just like, stop it. Like, stop
Well, yeah,
being so
so that's I
on
like,
one end.
yeah. I feel like I'm in that same exact boat with you, and as he's descending, like that's how I feel. And I'm with Enta, where Enta's like shouting at him, like, "Do you really think that like this is gonna make Haruka happy?" Toy gets blasted, and then he falls out, and Haruka's standing there like, "What are you doing? This was my decision to make." And then Toy just socks him.
Yeah.
I shouted. I was like, "Thank you!" Like somebody needs to punch this guy in the face and remind him that like he matters too. Like
Yeah.
just because you have made mistakes, that doesn't mean you need to condemn your entire existence into
Yeah.
making up for that. Like
I think
that.
that's what it is for
Yeah.
sure.
So,
Like de-realizing everything you've done and boiling yourself down to one moment where you messed up. And that's where I think the ultimate adolescence is for me, where it's like, if I make a mistake right now, I'm like, shit, man, I gotta do everything I can, depending on what it is, to never do it again or to learn from it or whatever. I'm not gonna just be like, everything I've done so far doesn't matter. This is who I am now, and I'm judged only by this one thing. And I think that's where I stand on the crux of like, oh man, it's a kid, dude.
yeah.
Don't think like that. But
Yeah.
I do get it.
Yeah.
And I have more of a problem with it later with Enta, which is
Sure.
dumb. But I did want to bring it up right now. Kaylee says, next time I make a mistake, I'm going to delete myself from reality. Oh, okay. Definitely. Well deserved for sure. Haruka is still alive. Haruka's secret is that he picked up the sachet of Kazu's real mother, and Haruka thinks it's his fault that the mom was going to leave, like we talked about earlier. And what is it? We have the soccer kappa, right?
Yeah.
They take the soccer balls, they take down the zombie.
Yeah.
They have no use. What did they put? They have no use for love. I just put what happened at
It's
the end.
because they save Haruka, right?
Oh, because
he was getting re-sent to be grinded up instead, and they save him. And in a post-credit sequence, it takes us to Ryo and Mabu, and Ryo is like all mad, but Mabu's like, we're not even going to do anything with love anyway. That's why we grind them up.
Yeah.
So that huge pile of dust is just garbage. Apparently,
I just put a bunch of question marks.
Dust. But then we get the reveal where Rayo's like, Ryo is he's like, yeah, you're right, but look, and it shows like one still frame of Kepi like all stretched out, his eyes like because he's being kicked through the air, and he's like, yeah, we found him. And
there he is.
Dang it. The cat's out of the bag. So, yeah, I'm like, you're just walking into the Otters HQ after saying that like you're their lifetime long nemesis. Like,
and
no
that you're the
nothing?
only one of your kind left. You're just gonna walk in just with these kids. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, and then
nobody got any
post-credit sequence, and I was like, damn.
No turrets, no nothing, no laser beams.
Nothing.
Episode 7. I want to connect, but I want to betray. What happens in episode 7?
With Kazuki back to being himself, he invites Toy to join along with Enta in their soccer club. Ryu and Mabu seem to be controlled by the Otters as more begins to be revealed about them. An unknown source repeatedly vandalizes the practice spot of the boys, with Toy revealing that new developments are causing him to leave town with his brother. Kazuki mentioning that they can just use their complete set of dishes to save him. Toy confused why they are helping, Enta reassures him that Kazuki wants the best for him, so that's what he wants as well. Before going Kappa, they discover the other dishes are gone, and the preceding memory leak reveals that Enta was behind the vandalization and theft of the dishes. An Otter reveals to Ryu in a flashback that Mabu has been fitted with a mechanical heart.
There was some, I gotta say, Cosmo, this is your anime. There was some intimate cooking at the beginning that made me a little uncomfy, where there was a lot of touching and sounds. Mabu getting maintenance on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There was that whole thing at the beginning, how Mabu wants to become the ultimate one to be desired. So there's a lot of backstory on those police officers that are just kind of, they're throwing it in little by little about what's going on. Macaroni in a pot sounds, kinda. There was some slurping and stuff, and I was like, what's going on? And there was like touching. He was having,
I'd call it caressing.
Yeah, a little bit. Kazu wants to build relationship again, and we get was this our first glimpse? I don't think this was our first glimpse, but like close up of the Dark Otter appears. He's the chief officer of science and technology. I got that one down because that was pretty funny.
That cracked me up, dude. I
chief,
couldn't take that shit seriously. So
because
funny.
they've been dropping odder things throughout these episodes. Like whenever the voiceover talks to the
Yeah.
police officers, it's just
Yeah.
like he's the chief auditor of science technology.
Auditor.
Yeah. The chief what? Yeah. So Crunchyroll, you say, yeah, it's on Crunchyroll, called Sarazanmai. Rio wants to save Mabu. The boys have a cleaning montage, which I thought was pretty fun. I was like, okay, we
Yeah.
haven't had like a summer episode. This is kind
I
of their
thought
summer.
like it also showed that like the officers kind of triangulated the position of the kepi. So I was thinking like, oh, they know the kids are in on it and they're just trying to fuck with them. Like I was sold that was
Yeah.
was
And
what was going on.
I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted you to think, because they're
Yeah.
like, okay, they know where they're at.
Perfect time for a betrayal.
Yeah, this thing happens. They're like, oh,
I didn't even see it coming.
nope. Someone is messing with the trio boys. Toei has to leave town with his brother. Soccer balls are flying. Kepi is with Sara. Yeah, what is this? Is this where? Yeah,
They're just kind of hanging
Kepi
out.
is with Sara.
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out.
They're just vibing, and they don't explain anything. They're just like,
and Sara like kisses Kepi and is like, "I love you," and he's just like, "What is the noise that he makes? I forget." He just makes his noise.
And I'm
Ghetto.
like, what? Yeah, like
He's
what's
just like
happening?
ghetto.
Kepi's with Sara, just vibing, chilling. And then just have that little thing, and I was like, they're not going to say anything about it? We're just going to go right past it? I mean, we get more in episode 8, but like, what was that about? We get the stolen dishes. I put balls a lot in this one because they just kept saying balls during the fight.
I mean, I think this is the soccer ball zombie, right?
Yeah, the soccer ball zombie. And they just say they're just continuously saying balls.
Yeah.
With all the little things that are happening when they take it down. And then, like you said, in the leak, we get the betrayal that Enta was the one to mess up the soccer spot and steal the dishes. Mabu has a mechanical heart. Both were transferred to Earth. And that's about it. I mean, it was a fun little episode. It was super chill. I mean, this is sort of building. I think this episode was more of building what's going on, what's going to happen, because we get the information that Toei has to leave, the separation of everybody. Then we get Enta being the antagonist for a little bit. So they're all sort of splitting up. We had this fun, get the little Sarazanmai dance. And now, for reasons, they all split up.
It was when Enta kind of assured him that like, oh, it's Kazuki wants the best for you, and I want whatever Kazuki wants. So that's when I was like, you don't want what he wants, you want him.
Yes,
you want.
You would hope that that's how a human should act.
But Kazuki keeps giving all like he like, oh, it's no longer the golden duo, it's like the golden trio. I'm being encroached on. Oh, it's no longer our soccer spot, it's the soccer spot. I'm being encroached on. And I could see that when I saw all of that when he said that, even though like in the moment I was thinking he was going to react negatively to everything leading up to this, but then he kept going along with it every time Kazuki was like, right, Enta? And then Enta was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, like he's at least on board. But then he gives that statement. Even when I forget early in the episode when they're broadcasting the whole sachet thing the second time, and Toy is like, oh, look at that, they're talking about it 2 days in a row. Have they ever done that before? And Enta's like, no, I don't think so. And then he was like, oops. And then he like ran on ahead. And I was like, did you just say oops because you responded to him? Like, are you like,
I didn't catch that.
It was like just a moment, but it was so weird. And like, I caught it. But then they go normal again. And then like, and he's acting all fine and stuff. So turning a new leaf and stuff. But
Enta, he don't even want you, bro. He don't want you. Enta, what are you doing? You're dumb.
I'm skin to skin with Kazuki.
Yeah,
we're
please,
sumo wrestling.
Dude. He don't even like you. He just wants to play soccer with you, bro. Just don't be weird. Don't stop being weird about it. Let him have other friends. Like that's so toxic.
Exactly.
That's so many red flags. No,
Yep.
he can't be friends with any other boy because I like him. Uh, a true little kid crush. I know it's just annoying.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
annoying
like
it's annoying in the moment, but I hope he has some sort of redeeming thing that he does.
it's because I want them all to just be
Yeah.
little guys. I mean,
Yeah.
we got them cleaning up, and I'm like, look at these little guys. Look at these
Yeah.
little guys just cleaning up, just hanging out, high
But
fiving, playing
it's like
soccer.
exactly. And like that's exactly what like where I go back and I'm like, all right, episode 4, like, we had episode 4, but then if episode 5, 6, 7, 8 is all just this again, the same things over and over again, it's like it might be like entertaining to turn off my brain and watch it if I just want something that's like, oh, monster of the week, what's the enemy going to be this time? But the enemy never really like had any stakes on things before, so I could kind of feel like there's something that was going to have to happen with where the direction was going. And even though it has to have the characters split up, I at least am glad it's not like the characters split up over some small misunderstanding or miscommunication. It's like these are truly their true selves kind of like coming out now, and
Yeah,
then everything shit hits the fan. And like sometimes that's what happens with connections where like you're on the surface level with people and things are all fine and stuff, but as those connections start to entrench and deepen, like you learn more about each other and there might be other things that can cause strife and conflict.
I totally agree. I think if it was something
Strife.
contrived and super dumb, and then they all had to split up, because it can't all be good all the time. I'm pretty sure, like, I felt that they had to split up at some point and then come back together to be stronger. But if it was over something super dumb, then I'd be like more mad than
Yeah.
I am now. I'm
Yeah.
fine with Anta. And like Kaylee said, yes, I just want them to all have a good time and be pals and have a good old time. That's a red flag. Yes. Wanting your significant other, or actually not even wanting your crush boy that plays soccer with you to not have any other friends or not kick the ball around is not, in fact, a roller coaster. It is a red flag. And a little toxic. Yes, definitely.
Very. Especially when you're doing things like actively vandalizing your own and
Spot.
like spot and like the whole like that aspect of it, I'm like, okay, but bro, you stole the dishes after you all decided you're gonna use them to help his brother out of a bad situation. Like I, everybody was so on board with that, and you're gonna like that was where I was like, that's fucked up.
And like he doesn't even know that he's I think as well the issue I have is that he doesn't even know he's hurting Kazu.
Yeah,
Like you think that Kazu's gonna want your dumbass when you're stealing the damn dishes when all he wants is for Toei to stay and have a
and for
good life.
you
Like you're
all
even
for you
yeah.
all to stay together, it's not even like you're getting ousted. This is all of us, all for one for all. But he's like, nah, just one for all. Me, my crush, that's what matters.
It's so dumb. I hate him. He instantly went up on my charts for the antagonist here. None of my friends are allowed to have other friends or be friends with each other. Not even my crush, just my friends. Oh, okay. Okay. Damn, tell us how you really feel, Jules. Stop stealing the dishes. What are we gonna eat off of? God damn it. We just need to make one wish. We've been doing
Yeah.
this. We spent how many episodes getting a dish a week? And now they're all gone. You
Mhm.
stupid.
But
Episode
in the
8.
last episode, we
Mhm.
had when they were trying to get Kazuki to snap out of it, we had Enta showing him his am I saying Moncakua?
Excuse me?
Moncakua? I don't know. I don't know.
What? They had
His
that in this
ankle, his
episode?
anklet. I'm just gonna call it his anklet.
Hey,
So he shows him
did I
his
miss something?
he shows him his anklet, and Toy reacted.
Uh,
And Toy reacted, and I was wondering why he reacted so heavily, but then we finally get in this next episode the reveal as to why he revealed here why you acted the way you did. I'm never
Uh,
going to say another word I don't know how to say ever in my life.
Els, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know they don't show up, but they're
Woo!
little unicorns. Thank you so much for the 500 bits because Matt, cute, we stan. Cannot confirm or deny. I am not in love with him like Enta is with Kazu. Now Jules gets to put a new anime in.
Ooh,
Ooh,
what are
I'm
we
gonna have to
getting?
think on that one.
Also, hello,
Ooh.
L.
Hello, L. Thank you for being here. Hi, we're talking about Sarazanmai. There's a lot of frog butts and stuff.
Frog butts, frogs
Anyone?
in butts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are running out of time. Episode 8.
Oh,
I want to connect,
yep.
but we'll never meet again. What happens in episode 8 of Sarazanmai?
Toy recalls a time where he met Kazuki in the past, but he doesn't believe that Kazuki would ever remember. He asked his older brother, Chikai, for some time before leaving town. Toy sets off to check in on some people. Enta bumps into Chikai and helps him out, assumedly so Toy would be able to leave more quickly. Toy saw his brother give everything up for him, so in turn, he gives everything up for his brother, giving up soccer. Chikai throws Enta into harm's way to get breathing room, with Enta witnessing Reo and Mabu killing somebody in like half cold blood, but not seeing them mind control the other cops on the scene. Kepi and Sada look over their new secret anti-otter weapon just for Kepi to fall in himself. Chikai tells Enta to go back to his friends before departing, and Toy says his final farewell to Kazuki before leaving town with Chikai. Kazuki confronts Enta over his betrayal of their group before Reo and Mabu show up to claim the silver dishes and fire a shot at Kazuki, with Enta taking the shot for him.
Oh my god. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
See a nerd. Hold on, can we go back to the shot? Look at Enter's fucking face, bro. He gets yeeted. His hat flew off. Oh my god. His hat is gone, bro. Oh my
Bro,
god.
he was just hanging out. And it's
You
like,
know,
the guy starts yelling and it starts running at them.
with a
And I thought
sword.
for a second, I thought like, oh, Chikai's gonna like pull out a gun himself or something. And then he takes the step behind him. And I was just like, no way.
I mean, we all know that Toy's brother is a bad dude, and
Yeah.
we've been like told all these things, but him hanging out with Enta, I was like, okay, he's a pretty chill dude. He's Toy's brother, whatever. He's a pretty cool guy. And then the instant moment where he's in peril, he's like, let me just kick this
Kick this
12-year-old. Let me just
that I
kick him.
acknowledged is my little brother's age.
Yeah. He just kick him in front of a sword. I was like, holy fuck, this dude. Yeah. And then he starts running.
And then thankfully, the guy stops because I guess he's just like, I'm not gonna just run my sword through some kid.
Yeah.
And
well, we find out that he's very dumb because he brought a sword to a gunfight after and gets killed by the police.
Yeah.
Wild. Let's go back a little bit. Toei gave up soccer and was the one who gave Kazu the anklet in the first place, which was kind of wild. Another thing that connects them, it's all about connections here. Toei was the one to give him the mycock or whatever you said earlier. The anklet, whatever it is that they're saying, it's the anklet, the soccer anklet. He was the one that gave it to Kazu in the first place. And I was like, whoa, connections. It's crazy. Matt said it first. I don't know. I'm just repeating. I'm a parrot. So that was pretty cool. I like that. And that also that kind of makes me rethink the way Toei was looking at Kazu, because I remember earlier Kazu whenever Kazu was dressed up in drag as Sara, Toei was like, gave him some eyes. He was like, but maybe he likes him. I didn't know this was going to be in a harem anime, but maybe he does like him for sure. As well as Enta, but it also makes sense because he has that connection and he didn't know he wanted that connection, and he ended up getting it later in his life.
I think he can definitely acknowledge that Enta has, this boy crush on Kazuki, because when Kazuki's sitting there like, what's going on? Like, why are we fighting? And Toy's just like, it's not really my place to say. And then Kazuki's like, why are you guys hiding secrets from me? And then he storms off himself, and Toy's just like, I don't know how to handle these situations. And that felt so real.
That's your boy, dog. I mean, I don't know. You handle that. That ain't mine. I don't know. Toei's brother is wanted by what's his name? What their names are? Rio and Mabu. And I thought it was really funny that in Rio and Mabu's like pictures of who they were looking for, it had the lollipops that Toei's brother just gave Enta a little bit ago, and I was like, what the fuck? That's so funny. Enta and Toei's brother are hanging out most of this episode, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you think about it, because
but again, like once Enta realized like, oh yeah, this is Toy's older brother he's about to leave town with and stuff, I think he's like, what can I do to help? Because he's just like, I want to get Toy out of here. What can I do to help? That's what I saw.
I meant more on Toei's end, because not Toei. What's his name? Chikai's end, because he's an old guy and he's just walking around town with a 14-year-old. So I was just like, I mean, he is
might draw more suspicion to yourself, bro.
Yeah, if you have this underage kid just hanging out with you. We have that weird dude. I don't think you got a screenshot of him, the one that's trying to avenge his brother's attacks or something.
I didn't. Yeah.
Kind of sus, not gonna lie, pretty sus.
There were some pretty funny shots I could have grabbed of him, honestly. The way they just drew him a few times with his little cackling yell.
Mm-hmm. I was like, who the fuck is this dude? I was like, I don't remember this guy. And then he explained who he was. They turned the other cops onto their team. They kind of mind controlled them with the otter, pin there.
Yeah.
So now they're on their team. They said something about a dark kepi, and Sarah is working with keeping. I don't think they elaborated on anything about a dark kepi, but I don't know what that was. They mentioned dark kepi, that there's one out there, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Maybe that's the thing that spawned in the flashback way when it like showed us the the fall of the Kappa Kingdom. When the otters took over, it showed somebody kind of like something erupted from their chest, and it was like it had red eyes and it screamed darkness or something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the dark Kappa.
I don't know.
And also apparently Reo and Mabu are like thousands of years old potentially, unless the fall of the Kappa Kingdom was just like a few years ago. But yeah, I assume it's like thousands of years ago, because it showcased the way it looked like a very classical like Edo period or something of Japan. And then
I thought it was a different world, so it looked kind of.
That's right.
So I think it was.
So they're from another world. So they're not human,
because the chief officer, said y'all are both being transferred to Earth.
The chief officer, forgot about him.
The chief officer, yes. This is kepi, but at night. Okay. That's true. Dark kepi. But then Sarah just goes ahead and sneezes into the food and freezes keeping solid. Oops. They wanted this whole contraption so that they can turn anybody into ice and preserve their body so they can capture them alive. And then she just puts Kepi down there into it, and he's now frozen solid. So now they can't turn.
That has long-standing consequences. We have yet to see, but
well, he wasn't there to turn them into what are they called? Frogs?
Kappa.
Yeah, he wasn't there to turn them into Kappa, so it has effects in the right now, because all of this other stuff happens where Toei walks away from his friends there, saying people realize that we're connected when they no longer are. Kazu ends up punching Enta and has one of the best lines. He's like, I'm done with you. Like, oh my God. After all this, Enta, you dumb fool.
I have felt that line.
You fool. He's like, what are you doing? What's going on? Why are you being this way? And he just punches Enta. And then Kazu's like, I'm done with you, dude. Like, whoa. And then Enta's like, no, wait, no, I love you. And all this
even
stuff.
After all of that, Enta is still there, like trying to play victim He's like, you care all this about Toy, but you don't even care about what's right in front of you, or something along to
You
that effect,
stupid.
basically. I'm just like, bro, he's getting back into soccer. He's like, that
You're the
doesn't mean
golden
that.
duo.
Yeah, but it's like, you need to open your mind to the possibilities of the fact that he's gonna become a more of a person past that. Like, he's out of the depression, sure, but that doesn't mean you have like ownership over him.
And also the things that make you like him are the way that he is and are going to flourish when he's not with you or when he's doing things away from you. Like him being tied down to you and you being like, you're mine, you can't do anything, will ultimately make him not
A
be
different person.
himself,
Yeah,
make him be
exactly.
a different person. So all the things that you loved about him, if you keep him tied up like this, he will not be able to be the person that he is. And you don't see it because you just want, yeah, I just want
What I
Kazu.
want. I
I
just
want
want what I want.
to touch his body or whatever, kiss him
Skin
when
to
he's a
skin with
girl.
Kazuki.
Want to be skin to skin with them. He says, okay, Kazu says, I'm done with you. Rio and Mabu show up. Enta takes the bullet and Enta dies? Question mark.
Or passes out. I mean, the what's it?
I'm cool with him dying.
I like, I'm okay with him dying. Mabu says, if you call somebody, he still has some time. So the shot wasn't fatal,
Which
probably.
is wild. They're like, you can still
Well,
have help.
like, yeah. Mabu's just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He's emotionless, and because of this mechanical heart that he has, I guess, is what we're supposed to believe. Which is also this really interesting thing where we had to see Rio like accept the terms and conditions of like them reviving Mabu under. He's like, I'll do anything just to hear his voice again. But then he gets that back just to be like, sometimes it's definitely a monkey's paw effect where it's like he got what he wished for, but
It's
is
not
it really
him.
what he wanted?
Yeah. So much boy love. This is crazy. We haven't
It's
had any boy love in a
we
while.
haven't had
At
a boy
all,
love.
actually.
I don't think this be the first one of this kind that we've boy love, but it's compelling and it knows how to keep me threaded. This anime kind of gay, not gonna lie. It's an anime kind of gay,
A little bit. A little bit.
just a little bit. It's fine though. I mean, it handles it very well in my opinion, to where it's like it draws a fine line between like knowing when it's trying to take its subject matter with a little bit more of a serious tone versus when it's trying to be about frogs jumping into butts.
Yeah. It's never gay
So
enough.
it
Nope.
manages to just tread a very, very fine line for me, where I don't find myself being like feeling like too much of one side of that is taking over. It feels very balanced, and it's able to keep me. These 4 episodes were able to keep me very,
Yeah.
very entertained and very locked in for the whole time through. Whereas with the first 4, after the 3rd episode, I was kind of starting to feel the fatigue because again, that formula got a little formulaic. But then we get these 4 where it breaks away from that structure and is like, no, this is what the show's about. This is what we mean when we say connections.
Yeah. And it is about genuine connections, no matter whether it's boys, whatever. It is just all boiled down to that. And it never goes into like etchy or hentai or anything. I mean, it's just them and adolescent boys that are, I guess, just feeling emotions and trying to figure out life. And I really like how these 4 episodes really gave more focus on their stories and making them interesting. And
Yeah.
it's so cool, to have these
And I
fleshed
think
out
it's also,
characters now.
definitely a story about like, the connections and, the hardships that come with them, acceptance that comes with them. Because you have this whole every episode, this whole idea of the memory leak, and then somebody's secrets are spilled out just to have like the outcome be not what they thought. Like, oh no, everybody knows that I dress as Sarah. Guess what, dude? We don't care that you like dressing up as a girl. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. Kaylee says that's one of the things I like about this anime for sure. It's goofy, but not when it's inappropriate.
Yes.
Definitely. So there are only 3 episodes left of this anime, 9, 10, and 11. So we're going to
Yes.
review those next week. I will post a link to a forums or Google form or Google thing so you can vote on where you would like to rate this anime. We have a ton of anime in season 2 that have been rated already. We have a couple in S tiers, and we are going to rate Sarazanmai next week by talking about the ending of the episodes, ending of the season, and then we're going to pick a brand new anime out of the chest. By then, I will have put in another suggestion. Thank you, L, for the 500 bits on Twitch. Appreciate it. And I'll get to put an anime in the chest, it seems. We have a lot of anime here to choose from. We're going to be going there, doing some stuff. But Matt, when you're not, never mind.
Pole dance.
It was another anklet thing. Matt,
when I'm not here mispronouncing words.
Yeah, when you're not here demonetizing my YouTube channel, where can they find you?
You could find me on my YouTube channel at Matt_Galley. I think it's just at Matt Galley. Follow me on my socials. Just add an ITS at the front, and it's Matt_Galley. Jules, when we're not here having me demonetize your YouTube channel, where can the people find you?
You can find me here on YouTube. Yeah. I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/JulesTheHuman. If you're watching this on Twitch, I do not stream on Twitch anymore. I stream on YouTube. So go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't stream on Twitch anymore. It's a lot of stuff going on YouTube. I post videos. I post this podcast. I also do streams of games. Been playing Helldivers, been playing Hades and all that stuff. So if you miss my streams and you're watching on Twitch, I stream on YouTube now. And we just hit 3,000 subscribers this week.
Woo!
My goal for the end of the year was 2,000 subscribers. Then we hit 2,000. And then I was like, let's do 3,000 by the end of the year. And now we're at 3,200 subscribers. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's really cool. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not. Thank you so much. But we post this podcast here on my YouTube channel, but also on Spotify. So if you like watching podcasts or listening to podcasts on Spotify, you can listen or watch over there. Just look up the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. You can watch those on Spotify. And yeah, I'll probably be streaming something on Friday, but you can catch this episode next Wednesday. A new episode of the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour for the finale of Sarazanmai. Watch episode 9 through 11. Only 3 episodes. What was that?
And to pick a new one.
And we're going to pick a brand new anime next week. So next week, we get to start a brand new series.
I'm going to say it.
Rerun? Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
I got to decide on what I want to put.
I'm gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure to watch that show, as they say.
Yeah. Let me know in the Discord what I should add in there. I don't know what I gotta look. I gotta look for some anime that
I've been watching this older anime that I bought on DVD called Requiem from the Darkness. It is so trippy. All I remembered about it was that it had intro that slaps and it had super super trippy imagery. And I'm saying that my next drop's probably going to be that one. But I forgot what I have in the chest right now. I'm going to need to figure that out. I don't know which one is even. The God of High School?
That one's
fine. Yeah.
God of High School.
So got to get that one out first. But I still hope it's free run.
Little guy. All right. Well, that was the end of the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour. So see you next week. Bye.
Bye.